what do you feel like is lacking in our community? Do you feel like that there's a big surge of Muslim entrepreneurs? Should we be helping? And should we actually be running an organization like this to help others? Because if there's no purpose to it or there's no need, then there's no need for us to do it. So this open discussion, anybody can jump in.
No, 100%, because I go to networking. I went to like 3 events this week. I went to I'm big on LinkedIn. And I went to this big LinkedIn event, and it's you go, it's 80-90% Jewish people. And people say, well, they work together, but I was like, look, every event I go to, they show up. And at the end of the day, regardless of the community they have, they're there. They're giving me referrals. I don't get referrals from Muslim people, which is ridiculous that I could get a Jewish guy would ask me to hire, but a Muslim guy wouldn't use me. And we wouldn't have that in other communities. So it's I see it all the time. It's we don't even show up at these networking events. They don't know we exist. Because all these non-traditional businesses, copying businesses, low voltage, all these random businesses you never hear about, they have. And it's why can't we have them? And right? Because it's even my business card guy's a Jewish guy, right? And then the other alternative lending is I know he's a Jewish guy. The lawyer I know is a Jewish guy. But they're the ones who are giving me referrals. So it's what can I do?
And I see the Desi kids, they don't have social skills.
Yeah.
I've had mostly boys, and when I see, they don't say hi, they don't say good morning, they look down, they look away. When I speak to them, they don't talk, and they don't have that respect. I'm not saying that we don't teach respect, but
they're not friendly.
They get uncomfortable when they're trying to have a conversation, and it comes off as they're being disrespectful. When they're not, it's just they don't know how to have a conversation. But to people that aren't Desi, they come off as awkward or maybe not intelligent. So there's a perception that comes with not being able to have a conversation. We need to help break that barrier.
Right. So how do our parents see money and how do they handle money?
Yeah.
Compared to how you brought up Jewish people, right? How they handle and treat money is very different than we do. They use debt financing to leverage a lot of their investments, whereas we look at everything as a cash basis. Everything is strictly you have cash, invest it.
Yeah.
This is something we kind of gotta comb back and kind of I guess introduce to our generation that look, you can use debt financing. This whole thing about riba and all this stuff, it's we kind of have to comb backwards and remind people that, hey, look, now we can get into the Islamic aspect of it. I don't know necessarily the Islamic way to do it, right?
But a conversation.
Definitely, we have to open it up because our parents think of okay, you have X amount of cash saved up, then you go invest it into a property, for example, right? And then you get rental income from it. That's not the only way to make money.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and invest in stocks. You can invest in stocks that are heavy in dividends.
So I just want to jump in real quick. So the main thing we don't learn from our parents is how to take risks. Because they're skeptical. They're always on the safe side. They'll be think 10 times before you do anything. That's the kind of mentality we grew up with. So generally, we are very low on taking risks. And business is all about taking the right risks at the right time, right? So I think we need to really educate our kids and folks how to do that. So just go ahead, jump on it, take calculated risks. Because when I was a kid, my mom, I wanted to be a cricketer, right? And that was back in 2001. I was in Bangladesh, right? And Bangladesh didn't play that good cricket at the time. And my mom used to tell me, who plays cricket? You got to be a doctor. And that's the kind of seed they put into our brain. The success means you being a doctor, you being an engineer. And we normally, as a kid, even if you be a doctor, you reach there at 30, 31. And then at 30, you reach your success level. And you don't know what to do after that. You're done. And you just steady in your life, right? So that's the kind of culture we grew up with. I think it's time for us to talk about it and change it. This is really important. What is success for you? Define that success for a Muslim entrepreneur kids, right? That is very important. They don't get it from most of the parents. I would say 90%, whether they're back in Bangladesh and Pakistan or here. I think they see parents are just the same.
You come from the territory of being first generation as well, right? So they're coming from their homes in Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, right? And now they're coming to a capitalist nation, right? And they're not worried about making money. They're kind of stuck in their old ways of you need this career stability, right? And I recently read a book where the author was talking about how even the guys that make the most money, right? These jobs that our parents tell us to strive after, being a doctor, a lawyer, engineer, right? the doctors make the most money, but they're horrible with their money just because they don't learn certain things. Right?
And there's no blame to the parents because they have worked, let's say 20 years to save up that money, and they're at risk that you can invest that money and lose it, and you don't have anything. So this is because the lack of confidence
It's
of
old-fashioned.
entrepreneurship, investment opportunities, calculated risk, and that's where we come in the picture, right? We have the initiative, and Abdul is going to share with you that we found the startup.
Hopefully our kids will be a little bit, more well versed when it comes to like financial knowledge and financial literacy. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the goals we want to have interactive classes, financial literacy, trading. We're going to go over that after we go over the PowerPoint. But one of the main things I wanted to discuss is why that I feel like MEA was needed. I went to Queens College CUNY School. I was very lucky to be part of a very diverse group. I was on the business side. That's what I was majoring in. When I was interacting with like the business clubs, I saw like national organizations like Alpha, American Latino Professional Association, which took me in. I got introduced to that organization. I feel like one of the minorities that are doing great in terms of their own community and propelling their generations is the Hispanic community. I've been to plenty of networking events. They want to see the next CEO of major banks be Hispanic. They want to see the next Hispanic president. And there's stigma, here and there, depending on what type of Hispanic you are, of course. But they're generally trying to push Hispanics to come together and push forward. And that was something I feel that was lacking in the Muslim community. There was no organization I could go to where I'm like, oh, well, I'm a finance major. I want to work in a bank. Let me go network with a bunch of people. I couldn't find that. I had to go to other organizations, like Alpha, NABA, Ascend. So this is why, I feel like MEA can, kind of like bridge that gap. And we'll go over, pretty much what we're doing and get your guys' feedback on it as well.
And one more great thing, like you said, you have a resume company, right? Is that a startup?
I'm sorry, what?
No,
You have a startup, right?
Right, yeah.
What kind of startup is it?
It's a resume business.
Very good. So, I've recently been to China. I have a bunch of friends over there who happen to be millionaires and who are looking to invest this kind of young start, right? So I was able to take two of them to Bangladesh just to have them give a tour. They were so happy about the progress there. They want to invest money in the education sector. And then a bunch of venture capitalists. So another main agenda for MEU would be to fund startups.
Yeah.
To help you pitch to that, bring that bridge, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that goes to like one of the main points. When I built my first startup, fixedmanual.com, Queens College really helped me get all the resources. I pitched at like chambers of commerce, connected with VCs all over, and I went to different events. And one thing I noticed was that there's a lot of venture capital money out there, but it's really going to a certain demographic, mainly white males and the Jewish community.
Getting the name out there, right? So among the younger generation, everyone's on social media, right? So, like, as you guys said before, you guys want to make chapters in colleges. I feel like I help with that. Baruch College, a bunch of business-oriented Muslim kids go there, they attend there. I could definitely try to get the name out there, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And I also think another thing is reaching out to like mosques, because mosques have a big group of young kids and youths who necessarily are looking for mentors but don't know where to start. So I feel like you can work with mosques, because I know I live right by Jamaica Muslim Center, and they have a youth program there. And it's not really like business oriented; it's more about like personal self growth. But there's no reason why we can't have members from this community go up the top there and outreach to kids.
But it just seems like it's a very big thing in the brown community, right? So the thing is we also have to understand how many of you guys are first generation. So that's why we don't have what they have, because Jewish people have been here for a very long time, right? So they're not first generation. So our problem is, I hate to say it, but our older generation has failed us in a sense as far as teaching us how to unite and come together and truly support one another. And I think it's really up to us to change that dynamic. And that's why I came here today, or else normally, I work 7 days a week, I work all the time, but I made sure I was free to come here to voice that and try to figure out a solution, really. And I think MEA is a great initiative to change that whole issue, and it's just something that we all need to talk about and figure out how to tackle that.
So different people, like myself, This person is an electric engineer who wants to know more about the networking side. We have somebody who, is a brand marketing strategist who helps businesses expand. So this is somewhere where we can start. We have an insurance broker, somebody who's in the auto industry, an IT consultant.
So that means associate program favorably, and yeah, that pretty much sums up my life.
Thank you everybody for coming to our first MEA meetup. We definitely have others coming.